Hey everybody, Travis Morgan here with your Musketeer Minute, brought to you by Winnavegas Casino Resort. Joined by head coach of the Sioux City Musketeers, Jay Varady. And Jay, what a great weekend last weekend. You needed a couple wins very badly. You got them, and you got them against two pretty good hockey teams.
Yeah, it was a situation where we were struggling a little to get points. I thought we were playing good games, but we weren't getting the wins we were looking for. We were able to go have a great game here against Sioux Falls on Friday night and then take a tough road trip and get the result we wanted in Madison.
Now, you mentioned the word tough in that sentence. That's kind of the way your team's played the last couple weekends. There's been some edge to them, some toughness that maybe we haven't seen up to this point this year. The last couple weekends, your guys have showed they're not afraid to drop them. They're not afraid to drop them at any time during the game either.
Yeah, it's a situation, I think, where we showed some toughness as a group. Our philosophy here is all in. That means everybody's fully committed to what we're trying to get done as a team. And in those particular situations, you know, it was a group of guys that were standing up for each other. And at this time of the year, that's what you want. As
a coach, you know, they're going to get suspended for something like that. But what do you say to them, or is there punishment, or what are your thoughts on when a guy gets suspended for something like that, where he is sticking up for a teammate? You have a problem with that or no problem whatsoever?
Well, there's situations in hockey, just like in life. There's a right time to do things and a wrong time to do things. And for us, we always feel like it's a right time to stand up for our teammates. So if there's a situation we feel that somebody else needs to be there, then we're fine with that.
How much does something like that, even though it cost a couple of your players a couple games, but how much does something like that maybe pay off in the long run as far as bringing a team together, bringing them closer, knowing that each other has their backs? I mean, that probably pays dividends down the road, am I right?
Well, it's hard to calculate that. That's one of the intangibles in the game. There's not a statistic to tell you what value that brings to the team, but if you've ever been around the team environment, the teams that are the most successful are the ones that stand together.
All right, so you got two big wins. Talk about where you guys are at in the standings right now and what has to get done the rest of the way.
Well, right now we're just in a chase. We're chasing Tri-City right now. We talked about them having the target on their back, us chasing them right now. And for us, that's one thing we're looking at is Tri-City. For us, the big goal was to get the X next to our name. We've talked about that for a couple weeks. We were able to get that done last weekend. Locks us up in a playoff spot. Now, really for us, the next target is trying to get home ice. It's the natural progression in the season in terms of the standings, and that's going to be tough to do because Omaha's right behind us. They've played a few less games, and they have a great winning percentage over the last 20 games.
This weekend, the USA comes, that's who's on the schedule now. Talk about that matchup a little bit, and maybe tell the folks at home the difference between, because they have two teams. Explain the difference between the two teams.
Well, the U.S. program is called the National Development Team Program, and what that group does is they take the best players in the country, about 25 of them, and they house them for 2 straight years. So the 18 team is all the 97 birth years in the U.S., the best at that age group, and they're called the 18 team. We are playing the 17 team this weekend. It's all the best 98 birth years in the country. And although they may be young, they're extremely talented, extremely skilled, and they're extremely dangerous because this time of the year they've played almost an entire USHL schedule, and they've had time to develop and gel and really come together as a group.
All right, I have to pose the question, though. I hear you say the word best, that is the best players, the best players. I think there's about 18 or 20 guys in your locker room that would probably have to disagree with that in the sense of, well, maybe I could be playing for Team USA. How do they distinguish that? And do guys in this league get up, especially for playing Team USA, because maybe they weren't picked to be on that roster?
Well, I should probably clarify. It's the best players at the 98 birth year. So outside of the 25 98s that are playing in Ann Arbor, the U.S. program, there's probably only 4 or 5 other 98 birth years playing in the entire league. We happen to have 2 of them here with us, you know, Jake Reisig and Butala. So those are 2 of the 98s that are in the league that aren't on that roster. So I think there's extra motivation for those guys. For a guy like Adam Johnson, I don't think that even registers for him. It's just a difference in hockey, which we call birth years. So we call them 98s, 97s, and you know, Adam's kind of the grandpa of our group at the 95 birth year.
Jay, always a pleasure talking to you. Thanks for the time, and go get them this weekend.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, Jay Varady, the head coach of the Sioux City Musketeers. A couple big games this weekend against Team USA. That does it for our Musketeer Minutes, plural. Always plural with Jay Varady. I'm Travis Morgan, brought to you by Winnavegas Casino Resort.